Hello, Curvies. Hi, y'all. Hi, y'all. Me and my side gap. I don't care. God gave me teeth, and that's not a missing tooth. That's a side gap. Y'all know I got a side gap. Anyway, it's kind of like the Shannon Doherty. You know who else had one? Shirley Chisholm. Shout out to Regina King playing Shirley Chisholm. Anyway, Curvies, thanks for tuning in today. I'm Larger Curves. I hope you smash my buttons on the way in. And ring the bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video. And so you can become part of this beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. Now, let me start by apologizing for my tardiness, okay? My bad. So I changed the time on this a couple of times. I was going to do it yesterday. I was going to do it earlier. And then today is my son turned 16. Shout out to being a mom. My oldest son turned 16 today at 4:37. They took him out of my womb. So I was running around this morning going to get his red velvet cake. And I got to the bakery that said they had it. And they were like, oh, that just means we can make it. So I got him a slice of red velvet cake, ordered a bigger red velvet cake for tomorrow. Yeah, it's the day after his birthday, but who cares? It's cake. And then we're gonna do the birthday festivities all day, all month. I got 2 Aries in my house, 11 years old last week, 16 this week. My womb is done. No more geriatric pregnancies over here. I had my second child at 44, y'all. 44. He's 11. Yeah, you do the math. Don't really do the math. Stop doing the math. Stop doing the math. But that explains a lot, don't it? Anyway, Curvies, thanks for coming through. I hope you had an excellent Eclipse Monday. I did a 24-hour fast yesterday. All I drank was water, 1 cup of coffee, and sparkling water. I didn't have anything else. I fasted and prayed and meditated. I wrote down my list of everything I'm manifesting that's coming to me. You know, the only reason stuff is on your heart is because you already have that in your other place, right? Like, you got to catch up to that, right? So God puts it on your heart because it's for you to have, right? So I wrote down all the things I want to have, all the things I want to manifest. Of course, I start off with love and health, right? And then I finish it off with the materialistic things and some other stuff. So anyway, I fasted and prayed, and it got really sticky around, around 1 o'clock. I was like, oh, I'm hungry. But it was really just the habit of hunger, because I just did not go downstairs near the kitchen at from 1 o'clock. As soon as I felt the hunger, I just did not go downstairs, right? And I just worked through it. I was like, oh, I must need to drink some more water. Oh, I must need to pray. Oh, I must have some work to do. And before I knew it, it was 7:30 p.m., you guys. And I was like, oh, and by that time, it was weird. Like, working through the stomach rumblings, you don't even get hungry. So then I just needed to not go downstairs all dinner because husband was hooking it up. And I was like, oh, usually I'm like that French fries commercial from 1972 where the smell of the French fries makes everybody in the building float out the building to the person's room that has the French fries. Anyway, so usually I do that when he starts cooking. But yesterday I just stayed my ass upstairs and was drinking my water. And if I did go downstairs, I stayed away from the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, shout out to me for pushing through. That's part of the timeline that I jumped, is to the timeline where I complete everything that I start, with ease and gratitude. So shout out to Leah. Anyway, what else are we here to talk about? Oh yeah, colorism, projection, because of these two over here. And these two call it out real good. Yeah, so we're gonna listen to some stuff, and then we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna be about it, okay? Because you can't just talk about things these days, you gotta be about things these days. All right? Okay, where's my banner? Because everything I say here is pretty much allegedly. It's allegedly. It's for entertainment purposes. I'm just kind of over here shucking and jiving, as it were. And also, I'm here to help create a better ripple in the universe, along with what we're talking about. Because the only way to heal from colorism and racism and all the other isms is to talk about it. because it seems like some people are confused about their range. It seems like people are confused about their range on Real Housewives of Potomac. So, let's see. Let's do a little roll call. Miss Kiki, thank you for being here, first in the house. I apologize for my tardiness. Allie from Miami is in the house. And Miss Kiki, Carrie, right on. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. Oh, thank you. Yes, happy birthday. Hey, DV. Thanks for coming through. So there's a couple of things. Where do I want to start? Like, I kind of, my recaps over here. I'm not going through everything. Everybody else already did that. What we're going to talk about is what I feel like talking about, which is the damn colorism that they try to pretend didn't get started talking about. And I've been going through the comments on things. Everybody's like, Candiace ruined the show with colorism. Wendy ruined the show with colorism. I'm like, have you bitches been watching since season 1? Oh, wait. No. Well, let's remind the people. So over here on my TV, I'm going to have to turn this way up. Oh, look. Of course, it went a fucking way. I had everything queued. I'm sorry, you guys. I had it all queued up, ready to go. We were going to start with the last 5 minutes of season 1, reunion part 1, when the Green-Eyed Bandits were always telling people about they were trying to force Katie. They were trying to force Katie to pick a side. Remember, Katie's biracial. Yeah, Katie Ross, remember? We love her. And remember, she was biracial. And these two cows tried to make her pick a side and like berated her and her children and all kind of stuff. They crossed a lot of lines. From season 1, these two heifers right here, the Green-Eyed Goblins, have been doing this since season 1, you guys. So let's take a listen.
Black people just saying, "Ooh, I want to be Jewish today," and then all the Jewish people looking at you like, "Why are you here?"
Okay, here we go. This is listening.
For the world to
Sure, yeah, I did.
You didn't write it in your Barbie diary.
Can you hear that okay?
Let me but I'm talking about you're just the type of person who gets pleasure out of, yeah, sure.
I read it.
Well, and Robin's financial information was out there for Ashley to read. But and so you're going to say something about her bringing out her stuff, but you don't have any problem with when you do it. I don't like the way that you dig at people constantly. All I'm bringing up is something that is true about you, which is that you have communication and friendships.
And I
wasn't talking. Hello, do you speak English? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I wasn't talking about my blog anymore. I was talking about your friendship and communication style, which is like a chihuahua on crack and annoying and chips away constantly.
Just like you and the carousel that you are, but no horses. You just dizzy, spinning.
Okay, I want to change gears. This season, the issue of race was a hot topic. I'm
gonna stop that right there. That's Wendy. That was Katie against these two, and then Andy says, "Season 1." First reunion ever of Potomac, that race came up. And you know who brought it up? Was this cow right here who was crying about it on my screen on Sunday. This cow right here. Yeah, Robin was crying. I mean, talk about fake tears. They were laughing at Candiace for crying. At least Candiace actually has a range that includes emotion. Okay, but this one right here, if I was Candiace, I would have been like, okay, now what's fake? Because she was like trying to get the tears to come out. She was like, I was like, but her best friend wasn't calling that fake. I mean, she literally almost sharted trying to force tears out of her eyes, you guys. She almost sharted. She was trying to force it so bad. That old girl almost sharted talking about she's never been affected by colorism, never had to deal with it, unless you're bringing it up. Let's go.
Debate was about being biracial or even butt grabs. There was a history lesson at every turn. Take a look.
Okay, yes. What are you today? Are you black or white? I don't know what I am. Yeah, okay. They don't understand that I identify as being biracial. It's like choose one or the other.
Shut up.
It's just very weird. I really can't wrap my head around black people just saying, "Ooh, I want to be Jewish today," and then all the Jewish people looking at you like, "Why are you here? This is not a fish fry."
What box are your girls going to?
Are they considered black? I don't know. Katie does a lot of trying to fit in with white people. Guess what, boo? They don't like you.
Most men don't like other men who are not gay, including their butt. But is that like a white guy thing?
I don't see what race has to do with butt grabbing.
You're biracial, I'm not biracial.
I'm not sorry. You stand up looking like this and you're straight out.
Calling me biracial was not the answer. Coming up to me at the party and saying something dumb wasn't the right thing to do. I'm not just African American, I'm also Caucasian. I'm biracial. What the hell is wrong with that? What's the problem with it? You're the one who has a problem with it. You guys said it was a problem to be black.
So much to.
You guys, so these two are fakes, fake snakes, and they have been from the jump street, okay? They have been from the jump street. And I'm just like, how are they allowed to sit in our face for 9 seasons now and play in our face? I'm reclaiming my freaking time, you guys. I'm reclaiming my time. And let the record show that I am no longer willing to engage with you playing in my face about these things. Because, you know, it's just, it's crazy. So as a viewer, I shouldn't have to be triggered by my television, which I've said since I started this channel. And I've been mentioning it in the hopes that it would catch on and maybe somebody would give a fuck that as viewers, we should not be triggered by our entertainment. Okay? Now, I bet if the other people group was triggered by their entertainment, we have seen some things take change, right? There are even some things that don't even get out because people groups respect their people groups so much. They don't want the whole world thinking that they're just full of shit. So they don't even allow their people group to be portrayed in such a freaking weird light, like these Jack and Jills over on Real Housewives of Potomac. So let's also go back. Remember, Real Housewives of Potomac was supposed to be very Jack and Jill adjacent. And then Jack and Jill, I believe, did something allegedly. My allegedly is down there, right? Did something allegedly about that they didn't want their name associated with this mess. And so they had to scrounge around and redo it in the franchise style of Housewives. That's initially what the rumors was allegedly floating around at the beginning of this particular franchise. It was not supposed to be a Housewives thing. It was supposed to be about Jack and Jill people, kind of the socialites of Black people. And, you know, it's like a finishing school for Black people with debutantes and whatever, right? So, but they didn't want to be associated with the housewife style shows. So they were like, keep your name out my mouth. And this is the first season that I can recall that Karen and old girl, the devil with the green eyes, were mentioning their affiliation and engagement in Jack and Jill. So it's interesting that the way the show started with all this racism, colorism, these two girls constantly coming for people, is going to be how the show ends, around racism, colorism, and these two girls coming for people. They're the reason the show is going to the toilet. And I hope Jack and Jill can revoke memberships 50 decades later. But yeah, because I think she needs her membership revoked. That's what I think. I think Giz needs her membership revoked because this is a lot.
Discuss here. Renee from Akron, Ohio said, Giselle, can you do Black American people a favor and stop including us all into your stereotypes of what Black people do and don't do? I've never been late a day in my life, and I know how to swim.
True.
You give them
And
that?
I'm never late, and I know how to swim.
So are you generalizing too much about things that black people do?
I
and
probably, yes.
do you regret that?
No.
Coming up.
I want you to understand that you're not biracial. Go back.
So you see, she doesn't even apologize for triggering her viewers because she doesn't give a fuck about us since season 1. She's been generalizing us on a global platform for fodder since season 1 because she doesn't care about how black women in particular are perceived en masse unless it's her and how she's perceived. But as far as the rest of us, we're all just a generalized stereotype as far as this green-eyed devil is concerned, okay? I wanted to start there with the past because if you don't pay attention to history, the way they're trying to get rid of it in these whitewash books in America, then you might be repeating yourself sooner than later. So, and I feel like in Real Housewives of Potomac, there has been a kind of Giselle washing and Robin washing, i.e. whitewashing, where they keep coming out, even when they're the bad guys, they're cut in a way where you don't have to care. But now in season 9, this same heifer and Andy want Candiace to take complete ownership of everything she says and be apologetic for it. So this is some of the colorism and racism shit that's already going on because season 1 Giselle doesn't have to take accountability for any generalizations or statements made. But season 9 Candiace better watch her fucking thumbs and anything that comes past her tonsils because you better take accountability. You see how that worked?
Black, 2% black. Be proud of that.
Are you not proud of it?
I have no idea what she...
Means they're not black?
No, I'm really surprised that they're so obsessed with skin color and racial identity. I feel like every single time I do or say anything, it's like, Katie, you're not being black enough. Or Katie, how black are you feeling today? And I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, it's a Wednesday. How black am I feeling? Let me get my black meter out and measure how black I am. That's so dumb. I don't walk around having race on my mind constantly. My family certainly isn't like that. There's no one black person who's married to another black person. It's all mixed up.
Giselle and Robin, why was it important that Katie defined herself to you?
No.
And to find my children, which was...
No. My father was...
Okay, so the lady who was on our screen on Sunday talking about it was my daughter. It was my daughter. I was talking about my daughter and you had looks on your faces. Remember that? Because policing black people's faces is what racists do. That's what racists do. They police your face. They police your emotions. They police everything about you. They're just constantly looking at you, overseeing your existence like overseers on a plantation. So remember on Sunday, the green-eyed goblin Giselle was yelling about Wendy and the other girl having looks on their faces that they didn't agree with. Well, first off, fuck you and what you think about what I have on my face. Worry about what's on your face. How about that? Second off, ditto. But they had to endure this double-sided, double standard line constantly moving because when the light-skinned green-eyed goblins do anything, it's forgivable. And 9 seasons in, when anybody else who's not a goblin or a demon seed does something, they better take full on responsibility. And even Andy has a hand in it. Okay? So it's part of it. It's part of it. We're building up, you guys. This has been a long time coming, and we're going through it. So now we're going to hear some more. Oh, and then Giselle doesn't want people talking about her kids in college or making any face about her kid going to college. Okay. Katie in this first season was having a celebration, a Jewish celebration of her kids naming in Jewish. And that's what this conversation is about a baby. And Giselle was fine with bringing it up, having all kind of ugly looks on her faces, having all kind of negative stuff to say about her children, the naming ceremony, and Katie as a parent. But Giselle was up there irate on Sunday. Okay, let's listen some more.
The civil rights movement. So we were little.
Oh, by the way, Giselle's dad, rest in peace. He was part of the civil rights movement. Yes, he was. But he was a colorist too. And there are some things in his background where there was a lady, a brown-skinned lady who was running against him. And he had some disparaging things to say about old girls. So Giselle got her colorist from her DNA. She got her colorism legitimately. It was passed down through her Dina from her daddy, who she loves so much and mimics in every way, including in the mistreatment of browner skinned people.
We had the KKK burning sign in our yard on a weekly basis. My father had death threats every day. What they didn't show was that when we were at the baby naming ceremony for Katie, she made reference to the black side like it was demeaning. Like, oh no, I would never be considered black. Giselle. If you're half black, 1/4 black, 2% black, be proud of that.
Are you not proud of it?
I have no idea what she's talking about. And once again, it's like, why would you come to someone's house for a religious naming ceremony? You know, then go outside and go in on them and challenge them about
we didn't go. We just asked a simple question.
And then for Robin to bring up, okay, well, when your girls are older, what box are they going to check? What the hell are you
offensive? Why did you even bring that up? Katie, you know that you said something wrong. That's why you sported the Jackson 5 afro.
The Jackson 5 afro?
Yes, you remember the afro that you had
last
last
week? You don't know my family. My mother is from Savannah, Georgia.
Right.
She lived in the segregated South, just like your family.
You're not proud of that.
This is so
Okay.
Wow. Katie. Dumb and dumber.
No, you know what? You better shut the hell up. I asked you a simple question.
Why do I have to answer any of your questions, Robin? I don't care.
Hold on, I want to hear from her.
I want you to understand.
So you see how Andy created these fucking monsters? Letting Robin sit up here and question somebody since season 1? Bitch. And this is the same season 1 when Robin was explaining all the multiple affairs that Don Juan Dixon's ass has been having throughout their marriage. The first time and now the second time. He's been paying for many a hotel rooms, you guys. And she was even saying something about, oh, well, he is an athlete and athletes get around. And I turned a blind eye to it. Okay, so why isn't she asking more questions about that? Why has he allowed this viper to ask questions in such a hostile way at these reunions since season 1? Because it's part of the setup.
What? That you're not biracial. Shut up. You know what? Y'all better get security here for real. Because
for what? What are you gonna do?
Shut up.
Next week,
So she's all, what are you gonna do? Because what are you gonna do, Robin? I'm gonna cue this next thing up and turn that down. And yes, we do have the clip also of Robin saying to Giselle on Reasonably Shady, explaining how she didn't want, how she wanted more black on the screen because they know that the magic over on Real Housewives of Atlanta was because of the high melanin content. And so she was saying something like, oh, people aren't going to relate because we're not them. We need some darker people on our cast. And she's smart, but not smart enough to remember that there's a 8th housewife, the internet. There's all kind of shit, girl. All kind of shit for us to go back and play how much of a lie your fake tears were crying the other day on my freaking screen when you were playing with my mind again, playing in my face. Robin motherfucking Don Juan Dixon. She who loves to pay for trollops to spend nights in hotel rooms in DC, because we already know that wasn't even, Juan doesn't have a job. No, that was when he did have a job. Maybe that was his credit card. Let's listen to this. Let's present, share screen, share the screen. Let me get this up here. Thanks for coming through, Curvies. I appreciate you. let's remove this and add this. Oh, no, add this. And hide this current comment. And listen to this. Is it already playing?
Live that they wanted to see.
Here, let's start from the beginning.
About to premiere. I said, we don't have any color on this show. I said, we're too light-skinned. We need some brown-skinned people on the show. And I said, people aren't going to connect with us. You know, people who are, you know, used to watching Atlanta. I said, they're not going to connect with us because they're going to just see a cast full of light-skinned people. So when Monique was casted, I was so happy. I was so happy to see a beautiful brown-skinned woman cast on our show who's living the Potomac life that they wanted to see. I thought she was a fabulous addition to our show. You know, not just for that reason alone, but I thought that was so important for people to see that and for them to be able to connect to us. And so, and season 1 was about to premiere. I said, we don't have any color on this show. I said, we're too light-skinned. We need some brown-skinned people on the show. And I said, people aren't going to connect with us. You know, people who are, you know, used to watching Atlanta. I said, they're not going to connect with us because they're going to just see a cast full of light-skinned people. So when Monique was casted, I was so happy. I was so happy to see a beautiful brown-skinned woman cast on our show who's living the Potomac life that they wanted to see. I thought she was a fabulous addition to our show. You know, not just for that reason alone, but I thought that was so important for people to see that and for them to be able to connect to us. And so, and season 1 was about to premiere.
So, you guys, when did Candiace come on the show? Monique came on and then Candiace came on? Can somebody tell me in the comments, when did Candiace come on the show? Because why was she so much more happy when Monique came on the show if Candiace was already there? Wait, am I mistaken? Are there too many things going on in my head right now? Mommy brain. Okay, let's see. Let's look at these comments. So what do you guys think of that? So so this is since season 1, Robin has been arguing with people. And since Sunday, Robin's been crying because she never had to face anything so horrific in all of her life, aside from berating Katie and her 2 daughters trying to force in this chick a box. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's pick it up. I'm gonna let it finish playing over here. From season 1, because I wanted you guys to hear it from Robin's mouth, so you know she's a liar. She's a liar and a fake. Okay, a liar and a fake, and so is her little friend. Okay, but now let's listen to how much cojones she was talking to this other woman, this other Black woman, about colorism and race. What she was crying, she said she never had to deal with it, but she forced it on other people, so she's dealt with it.
I feel commitment to my vows.
Are you going to send us any more stank messages about your marriage?
Juan Dixon was not Michael on the floor, but he had grabbed his butt.
Andrew was meant to appear on the reunion, and you called off the engagement.
Don't make me cry.
Plus, things get heated when the husbands take the stage.
And season 1 is also the season Michael's Darby's been grabbing ass since season 1, sexually assaulting people. SA is groping, unwanted touching, unconsensual touching, grabbing, anything like that is a form of SA. Look it up. Michael Darby has been grabbing butts since season 1. And then they tried to make it a white thing. They were like, oh, is that because he's white that he does that? That's what Robin asked Ashley about it. And then Ashley's like, well, I don't know why they have to make it a white and black thing. Remember? Because that was in the first part of the reunion. They show the clip Michael looking gleefully at black men butts and picking victims for him to go up and assault by grabbing their butts in public and groping them. And it's been allowed. Ashley and him have had jobs playing in our faces for 9 seasons, making us complicit in assault because we've kept this SA person. He should have to be registered someplace like that petty guy who's Nicki Minaj's husband at this point. He's done it repeatedly on camera, gotten sued for it. And did you guys know the producer that did sue him ended up fired? Did you guys know that? Yeah, the producer ended up fired, and his big four-headed wife and him both still have association with the show. You guys.
You were trying to have a male fantasy situation.
Look at what I have. Why would I be titillated by Karen?
Michael, don't go there.
My man been bold and exciting for this for 20 years. Stay in your lane.
I don't say, oh, Giselle's a whore screwing around with everybody around the country.
That's not true.
It's not.
You're a snake laying in the grass. I don't know when you're gonna bite.
Really, Karen?
You were drunk, high, pill popping, whatever, and you peed on the couch. That's what happened.
You should be happy if your daughter turns out to be like me.
You're a liar.
DMV, I'm sorry. I did leave something out.
Oh my God.
So the hot box that Giselle has been confirmed also since season 1, because also the people from the church that she used to be at when she was the first lady with Jamal have been taken to Twitter to tell their stories about her behavior during that time, including that she never brought a Bible to church, including that she wouldn't let nobody sit on the first pew with her. It was all empty just for her with no Bible, including that she was not very nice, including that she used to use sex magic on the man, including all kind of stuff. And that she was a trollop, basically, and well known. They said that the depth between Giselle Bryant's legs was very well known amongst the congregation, amongst the men folk. They said she was a hot one, you guys. That's what they said. That's what the freaking text and everything said on the Twitters. Go look it up. Look it up. That's what the people's account of was her. That's what the people's account was that Giselle was a bona fide trollop in these streets. I'm going to keep going. I just wanted to point that out because that whole hot box situation had legs.
Part 2 of the Potomac reunion starts now.
We're back wrapping up season 1 of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
I feel like every single time I do or say anything, it's like, Katie, you're not being black enough. Or Katie, how black are you feeling today?
I'm going to actually go back to Robin.
I don't understand why the topic of race is such a sensitive issue.
Well,
It's because we live in a country that...
So you heard the one that was crying on Sunday. That was Robin saying, I don't know why the topic of race is such a sensitive issue. And this bitch was full on forcing tears. She shit in her pants trying to force tears. That's going too far. That's just like what I'm making it in my head, because it literally looked like something was going to pop out of one end or the other when no tears came down her face, but her friend didn't call her tears fake.
Has a history of sensitivity towards race.
It very much so is.
I don't question how you want to identify.
Oh, okay. But I was questioned constantly. So should I clarify?
But we just explained the reason why.
But asking
No
a
one cares what you have to
question
say.
in a nice social
It
setting.
wasn't nice, really. It wasn't nice.
I said,
It
can
wasn't
I
nice.
talk without being cut off? And obviously I can. God
As a black woman watching that one part where you asked her, would she check for her children? I thought that was
What?
insulting
No,
and
that's-
offensive.
But why are you so offended for me asking a question? That's what I don't understand.
she took offense to the
The
way
premise to it offends me, that I should try to fit my children who are as mixed as they
It
can
was a
possibly be.
question.
It's asking me to put them into a box.
It was
And
a
that's
question.
she's telling you she didn't mean it as offensive.
It was more of a question to educate me,
oh,
to let me know.
It
Okay,
didn't feel that way, but now that you say it, I can understand that. And I'm sorry I cut you off so many times.
thank you. I've grown up around plenty of mixed people, light-skinned people, black people, white people, Jewish people. It's not like I'm racist and I'm judging.
And I believe that's
It's a question because I know mixed people who it's an issue for them.
Right. I think that we're closer to the same experience, actually. And it's too bad that I called you dumb, and it's too bad that I end up screaming at you because you're not even the person that I really want to be screaming at. I probably should be screaming at Giselle because it really is her and her issues, because she's got clearly a lot of pain and a lot of presence about what that experience has been like for her. And then it ends up affecting everyone else.
I'm not in pain. I'm proud.
Well, you said from the beginning, I'm proud of my dad too.
Okay.
Just to say something like, Katie's always trying to fit in with white people. Guess what, Katie? They don't like you. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
I mean, are you aware that half of my family is white?
Katie,
So you're talking about my father, my grandparents, my cousins, they all don't like me? Wow.
Katie, I don't know where
clarifying that.
I was getting ready to say that I don't know where they put that in. Like, I don't know how this show became the poster show for race relations in America.
Because you're talking about it all the time.
The question after all of that was, if you do commit a crime, you're not biracial, Katie committed a crime. You're a black girl, Katie committed a crime.
Obviously, when I have committed a crime, I was African American for that crime.
We're just gonna say that's who you are. So that was what we were talking about that day.
And on my license, it says African American.
So you had to pick a box on your license.
I didn't have to pick a box. They choose it for you.
So that's how you're identified.
Right. I mean, obviously, I'm black as far as I look.
Right.
I don't have to pick a box for my children. They don't look black right now. If they look black later and they want to identify as black for their license, then that's how they're going to identify. Now, you maybe could get away with being Caucasian.
I don't.
Okay,
because
so
I'm proud to say I'm black.
So I want you guys, did you guys catch that? Katie said, you look like you could get away with being white. And Giselle said, I could, but I don't. Here, I'm going to rewind it. Listen real good. Is my volume all the way up? I'm putting it up to 100, you guys. Go back just a minute. Okay, there.
Identified.
Right. I mean, obviously, I'm black as far as I look.
Right.
I don't have to pick a box for my children. They don't look black right now. If they look black later and they want to identify as black for their license, then that's how they're going to identify. Now, you maybe could get away with being Caucasian.
I don't.
Okay,
because
so
I'm proud to say I'm black.
Okay.
All right, I want to ask Ashley your opinion. You're biracial. What was your reaction to all this?
I was just really surprised because the two women who have the most European features seem to make the biggest deal of race. When most of us embrace our naturalness, for some reason they don't.
What?
Coloring your hair blonde and straightening it is European. That is a very European thing.
My hair has been black. Like, come on, Ashley, come harder, please.
Yes.
I don't have to come harder for anything. You're both sitting here with blonde hair.
Nene Leakes and Mary J. Blige has blonde hair. Are they trying to be white? Come on.
But they don't preach about being black all the time. They have to preach about it. Just let people live. Yes, you guys did. Especially when Michael touches Andrew's butt. For some reason, it was everybody's prerogative to talk about it because it's a white person thing.
No. I need you to understand where that came from. Black dudes, they give you dap, they dap you up. Those are terms of endearment between black guys. That's how they greet each other. So because you were like, Michael can grab Andrew's butt, not a big deal. Maybe this is something that like white guys just do. I'm not accusing any race of being butt grabbers, but it was a question. I said, is this a white guy thing?
That is a loaded question. That is a loaded question. You didn't say, is this something that white people do?
On the floor, cold.
Michael would never touch one. They're not friends. Andrew and Michael have a friendship.
But Andrew had a big problem with it.
Did Andrew have a problem with it?
He did not.
Yeah, he did. And I saw him say
anything and says that you didn't see it on camera.
I say it all the time. Mind your business. Mind your business, Giselle.
I've met Michael. He's never grabbed my ass. I feel
Never say never, Andy.
Anything on this topic that you feel like you want to?
I think I got it all out.
You do? What's going on? Okay, moving on. Charisse, as the hostess with.
Okay, so that was, I just wanted you guys to hear in depth. Season 1, reunion part 1, last 10 minutes. Reunion part 2, first 10 minutes. All the doing of the green-eyed gizzard holders, the green-eyed gobble slobbers, the green-eyed Jezebels, the green-eyed monsters. Yes, are the reason for the season of colorism and racism stuff coming up on the show, you guys. They started it. And now they're finishing it. You guys. Okay. I'm irritated that they've been allowed to like spin reality to believe that Candiace and Wendy are the problem. And then, and then cry that you've never had to face it. White lady tears. Those were white lady tears, girl. There was no reason to be crying when you berated Katie about her children's box. That sounded weird. When you berated Katie about which box her children would have to check. You berated that lady, but you're crying 9 seasons later because, let me get this straight. When Candiace told Giselle, your butt helmet Giselle, because that's what she does. She wears Giselle as a butt helmet because her head is in her ass so far. So when Robin's butt helmet Giselle was told that her white-looking, white-adjacent ass had privilege, then when Candiace texted her and she's like, nice hair, and Rob, the builder, decided to internalize what was for her butt helmet, Giselle, and make it about her. Well, if you guys saw the movie Human Centipede, then you can know things can pass through when your head is that close to somebody else's butt. But I don't think that's how it's supposed to happen with like words for other people. Especially also when her butt helmet spent an entire season generalizing and stereotyping Black people in their behavior. But her daddy was a civil rights activist who was also colorist. Okay. I'm just a little, okay, I have some other stuff for us to listen to. Because we're going to go over just why was there so much gas at the freaking reunion? I'm just not with the amount of gas that we had to partake. Is this the one?
I wonder, Robin, did you feel like she was coming after your job?
So what I felt when I read her tweets and the Variety article and, you know, everything else, I felt she was being critical of my job. It's just, as a friend, that's something you just don't do to a friend.
I would like to respond. I think what is missing here is a very specific timeline. So we shot the reunion last year on, I think, January 19th. On January 23rd, you posted something and you still had like your reunion hair. I thought it was pretty. So I said, oh, pretty.
Nice, long hair.
Long hair, yes.
Yeah.
And you responded and said something like, well, I guess I should probably...
I said it probably makes me look more like a white adjacent looking woman, yes, which I can't imagine is a good thing.
Yes.
So this was after the reunion, her comments about Giselle, white privileged skin, her previous tweet about white adjacent looking woman, those hit me hard as well.
Okay. Can I just finish?
You can finish.
Yes. And I understand that.
Yeah.
And I received that now. My response at the time was, are you mad at me?
Correct.
And you read it and you did not respond.
Correct.
In March, I texted you after the stuff happened with Juan and said, I'm sorry this is happening to you and I'm sorry it's happening to your family. You didn't respond to, that's now 2 messages that you've ignored. So then, when this stuff comes out about you and the paywall, it's like, oh, she's like on one. And I was pissed. I tweeted what I tweeted. It hurt you. So I will apologize for hurting you because that's not what I wanted to do.
Okay, so I did not respond to your message.
Okay, yes.
Because that colorism conversation is so uncomfortable for me.
I understand.
It was an extremely uncomfortable thing to be accused of. I've never experienced that in my life. Never. And I did not know how.
Yeah, how do you navigate that?
I mean, it was just extremely hurtful to not only be on the receiving end of being accused of being a colorist, which I think is horrible, but still, when the stuff about Juan came out, all of y'all talked about it, but nobody accused me of plotting, of, lying, of cover up, like none of that. That is the stuff that really, really, really hurt me as a friend.
I want to go back to the colorism conversation. I grew up in a household where talking about race and color and the diaspora was like commonplace. So for me, talking about any aspect of race is not uncomfortable for me. I mistakenly thought that you all thought that way as well. It was my mistake.
I don't have any problems talking about colorism. I'm a member of a black sorority. I went to a black college.
Yes, and
I can have colorism
talk about race
conversations
and color,
and
when
that has nothing to do with you going on social media and insinuating that we're colorists. Those
I did
are
not
two different
insinuate
things.
that you were colorist.
Yes, you did.
That is your interpretation.
did.
Well, question, did you ever say that they're not?
Yes,
They did. She said
Now,
that the
on
last
the-
reunion.
The topic that's come up frequently is colorism. Candiace, you were the most vocal when you spoke to the producers. You told them that you didn't think your castmates were colorists. However, you still felt that the conversation needed to be had.
She said it on the
She said it
reunion
at the
couch
last reunion.
after the
She
narrative,
said-
after the
She literally
phrases
she literally opened up the conversation by saying, "I don't believe
talked about
any
on
of my
the reunion
castmates
because
are
it was out of
colorist."
control on Twitter.
If we step back for a second, and if this was a black and white conversation, it's almost equivalent to someone saying, "Man, I'm so hurt that you called me a racist." But when is the conversation ever going to shift to say,
It's not.
why did you think or believe that to
It's
be
not.
true for me to be a racist? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to talk about why they believe this phenomenon exists, then let's not talk about the phenomenon itself.
Guys, there's no better group of black women on the Bravo network to talk about that than us.
No, actually, that's very incorrect. Because if you want to talk about colorism, then you need to have the range to talk about it. And a lot of people on this show, whether you want to or not, do not have the range. And I will stop it there.
What was the reason why you guys are colorists?
I don't know.
If you want to start with the reason, let's start the reason. So let's find out why you guys are
Anytime we have a
colorists.
conflict with a brown skin person, we're a colorist. But we forget that Karen and I beat, Ashley and I beat for 3 years. Like,
I want to, Robin, I want to
introduce
wrap
that
out
conversation
of
here.
this conversation. I'm assuming that there's no place for the two of you to go right now.
Worse has been done, and if this is friendship ending after everything that we have sat on this stage over the last 8 seasons and watched be done to her, so be it.
All right, I'm going to leave it there because we're going to bring the husbands out. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we needed to listen to that because it's such a juxtaposition to what she was doing to Katie. Isn't that strange, you guys? Isn't it so strange that she can do what she did to Katie and everybody else? And then it must be that because Giselle had went to HR on Candiace, remember? And tried to get her in trouble for her colorism comments and her alleged death threats that she allegedly received for being a colorist on the show. But I feel like she got the alleged death threats from her actions and her words from season 1, along with her actions for 9 seasons, more than Candiace's call out of her actions and words. What do you guys think? Do you think that is Candiace's fault, or do you think that is Giz's fault for her actions over the years, and her stereotyping, generalizing Black people. You think that's what got her in trouble? Or do you think it's is it find the nearest Black person and blame them? Oh, yeah, that's why. That's why it's Candiace's fault. Because it's find the nearest Black person and blame them. That's what they did to Katie. Katie and Charisse were very brown compared to everybody else up there. But Charisse was the one who Charisse was supposed to be the anchor of the show. But all the stuff that was going on with her husband, she ended up at the end of the couch, season 1. Her and her champagne boom boom room, remember? But she was like really the center of the show was Charisse and Karen more than Giselle and Karen. But based on it being about Jack and Jill, those two were in Jack and Jill. Now, I don't know if Charisse was in Jack and Jill's too. But anyway, Katie was a brown-skinned girl that they were coming for season 1. And that's followed their pattern of attacking brown people since season 1, because then Katie gets off the show. And then who do they start chipping away at? Charisse and her. She has a firefighter. And her husband cheated. Remember all those things they were saying? And then we get, you guys check for me. Thank you very much. Candiace came on season 3 and Monique came on season 2. So then we get Monique on the show and we saw them immediately start coming for Monique, but then Candiace came on the show and they were going to get after Candiace. And yeah, remember it was just like back and forth between attacking the brown people. And then of course, Ray, the Black Bill Gates, him and his dark Uncle Ben looking ass, of course he had to get some because he's a dark husband, right? And then remember Chris Samuels was so dark and scary Black man that Giselle brought security for him that season when she spilled the tea about him, about his wife being with the trainer and that the baby might not be his. And when he was going to come tell her ass about keeping my kids' names and paternity in your mouth on a stage like this. But remember, Karen didn't have shit to say about it back then. This year, she don't want nobody talking about Mia's kids' paternity. But we could talk about the paternity of brown-skinned Monique Samuel's kids when that was happening to her. Karen didn't have nothing to say then. But this year, Karen got something to say about, oh, the kids are going to have to see this. Do you see how they playing in our face? They just playing like, oh, right here. They just playing. And I'm with you, just simply. I'm willing to do a freaking RHOP boycott. I'm not getting these bitches another check. They will never eat off me again. You chase Candiace Dillard Bassett off? There goes your check. Larger curves ain't gonna be a part of it. No more. No more. I'm taking my sand toys and I'm going to another play box because you guys been triggering me for 9 seasons and now it's accumulated with you forcing yet another brown person off my screen, and these 2 ladies get to sit here with white lady Karen tears. And then Karen chimes in. Oh, nobody can have a better conversation about this than us. Bitch, you haven't had a conversation about it yet without telling the brown skin people that they're wrong. And letting the green-eyed goblin swabblers explain stuff away and be like, just like Chris said, oh, words are important, but only when my wife says them. I don't need that reinforced en masse, that Black people's words need to not only be policed by white people, but now by light-skinned Black people who are way worse off in every sense. Giselle and her little friend, Rob the Builder, are worse off than Candiace Dillard Bassett, Monique Samuels, Wendy Osefo ever could be. Their husbands love them. Their children respect them. Right? They speak sense and truth to power. They're educated. They don't have to rely on pretty green, light-skinned shit. They're women of depth. And all you are is on top. Just all this on top. Oh, You probably don't even screw back. You might just lay there and be like, "Oh, I don't want to make my hair sweaty." I don't really know. But the gobbler, Roblin the gobbler. Yeah. So I think she swallows because that's one way to make Juan Dixon keep being interested, because freaks love it when you swallow. And Juan has never been satisfied with Robin. Never has he been satisfied with Robin. He's been cheating on her since there was a C in cheater and ending with the R. So that pretty much means forever. He's been cheating on Rob the builder. She's been accepting it. I would not be swallowing jizz from a man who shares his peen with other people. Note to self, do not swallow jizz from community peen, ladies. Do not be Robin. Do not be Robin. That's not very healthy, okay? Do not swallow jizz from community peen, okay? That's nasty, Robin. Nasty, okay? Giselle said something about natural hair. Yes, because Katie put a picture up of her hair in a natural after they were berating her about wanting to be white, okay? Not surprised Sharice and Jizzy get around, right? They probably had a little threesome, maybe, allegedly. I don't know. No wonder Karen called her a hot box. Exactly, you guys. Because she's well known. Her box is well known. Yes. People need to stop putting the lie on Giselle's head. At no time, nowhere, no how could Giselle pass for white. Exactly. Right? Juan is a coach talking about Black men don't smack butt. That's a good point, because I think Juan Dixon would have liked his butt smacked from the sausage sucker, Michael Darby. I think he would have, because if you look at the history, the only reunions that Juan came to was when Michael was there, pretty much, right? I don't know, allegedly. Yeah, Wendy. Wait, just simply said something. That's no Wendy. What'd she say? Remember, didn't even know. Oh, okay. Let me keep going. Where am I? Devi said the entire cast is toxic for many reasons. Either recast or cancel the show. I get it. I didn't want Candiace specifically to be out of a job, or Wendy specifically to be out of a job. But our girl Wendy, with her brilliant Happy Eddie husband, turning lies into magnificence. $2 million in 6 months? Bitch. I bet Deborah wants a cut. Happy Eddie was looking at me on the side of the car, and he just couldn't keep his eyes off, and he was just so happy looking at my eyebrows. Remember she was saying that shit? And he took that lemon and turned it into lemonade. Turned it into lemonade for everybody. He has indica strains of lemonade. He has sativa strains of lemonade. He has some hybrid strains of lemonade. And they're all the strains that you can still function, because he's a functioning lawyer who just needs to take the edge off sometimes. And his wife is a functioning 4-degree holder PhD, and she just needs to take the edge off sometimes. So it's not like their cannabis is the kind that just glues you to the couch and turns you into Beavis and Butthead. No, their cannabis is for people who want to continue to be excellent and excel. Isn't that I'm like, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I love it when people turn hate into love. Yes, recast this or get off. The part about the colorism support constantly acting like they don't know what it is. Hey, look, that's what I'm saying. It's the gaslighting, right? Freaking gaslighting, projection. It's all of it. It's all of it over here in Potomac. Hi, everybody. DT is in my house. Thanks for coming through. Joanne, Just Simply, Carrie, Mademoiselle. Who else is? Oh, Reese C. Reese C. Thanks. Saturn Tea Tree. Thanks for coming through. Who else is in here? Belize, and JB. Thanks for coming through. And I think I got the other people. Let's go. Where's my new comment? Okay. And you could be deep mahogany gorgeous and be a colorist because it's ingraded. Yes. Yes. Candiace could have been calling production colorists, but the hit dogs hollered. Exactly. But when Candiace goes to production, nothing happens. When these two go to production, remember the first reunion this season, Giselle sat on the couch in all of her that she had made a call and Candiace was supposed to get talked to because she said I was colorist. And she was just sitting back waiting for her white lady called a manager to go through and all the stuff that was supposed to happen with her white adjacent ass call was supposed to be that Candiace was supposed to get handled because the white adjacent lady called on her and she was waiting for that to happen, but nothing ever happened. I'm glad Wendy shut Karen down. Yes, yes. I love Wendy. Wendy, she told the people, you don't have the range. And her and Candiace have been talking about the lack of range on the cast to the degree that they were in complete and utter agreement with the no, they don't. They had a nice brown skinned girl chuckle to that shit. They were like, these bitches don't have the range. Okay? It's also very clear that they don't even know the definition of colorism. We went over the definition here, though. They want to keep pretending that they don't know what it is so they don't have to be responsible to change. Exactly. Ignorance. Ignorance. And that's the part of racism that we, as brown, black, those colors that they put in a box on our asses, are melanated wonder that is a natural UV blocker, you guys. Think about that shit. It's a natural UV blocker. Okay? And they want to act like they don't know that when she was in her sorority, that being a light-skinned girl in the sorority was a better day. She doesn't know that. Really, school days? Okay. Wendy was absolutely correct in that statement. Giselle and Robin are using the white girl card. Karen and Mia are lighter than Giselle. Yes. 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 Karen and Mia are lighter than Giselle. Yes. Oh my gosh. Satra Del Rey. Thank you for the freaking super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Couture Bay is in the house. Thanks for coming through. There was no better time than last season to go in on colorism, except the last season of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, right? I did not appreciate, though, last season. My analogy for last season of turning to Candiace, who reported colorism, and turning to Wendy, who reported colorism, to have them try to explain it was kind of like asking an essay victim to explain essay and why it was essay. Like, you're not supposed to be coming to me as the victim. You're supposed to be looking in your book of HR, OSHA regulation shit, and going to the textbook freaking definition of that shit, and then playing back clips that match to the freaking actions that the definition pointed out. That's what's supposed to happen. But no, when you want to continue to victimize the victim, and no, when you want to villainize the victim, then you put them in the hot seat in front of their accuser and ask them, oh, well, now explain this. Can you see why people don't even want to come up when they've been essayed sometimes? Like, it's just uncomfortable. Don't make it more uncomfortable for me. Don't make it worse for me. Right? They were supposed to take some of that ownership as my workplace and protect me from what I just told you the fuck was going on. But no, that doesn't happen for brown skinned girls like this, does it? Because they knew to turn to Ashley's ass in the first season and get her take on it. Anyway, it's very draining. I'm tired of the gaslighting. Ooh, my head is light from all the fucking gas in the room, okay? No matter what shade you are as a black person, high, yellow, light skin, brown, dark, they all see black. That's true. I wish there could be a documentary behind the scenes of the show. Ooh, that would be great. or a producer that got fired for having his ass grabbed by a white cast member would write a tell-all book about what they had to endure and see and cut out and set up on set. That would be excellent. Yeah, allegedly, that's the returning cast. Giselle, Ashley, Mia, Karen, and Nneka. Yeah, they were out with Nicki Minaj, looking all kind of stupid. Poor Nneka doesn't even know she's next. Nneka is definitely next. Because didn't she say something about Juan this reunion too? So leave it to Rob the Builder's good grudge carrying ass. She has a lot of room in her tool belt, you guys. She has a lot of room in her tool belt for grudges. So she's going to put this little grudge that she has for Nneka saying something about Don Juan not being there or whatever it was. She's going to put that in her tool belt. Mark my words. Honestly, if Giselle is not on the show, it would be better or change. Yes, I think so too. I think that if Giselle, because you know what? Fish stink from the head. Okay? They stink from the head. So when a fish is rotten out, it stinks from the head. You got to cut it off. Okay? Cut it out. So this fish is stinking because Giselle's the head of the boat. She's the one who they think can do no harm, no harm, no foul. Everything, the whole dynamics of this shit would change from light skin versus dark skin to just let these women live, because Giselle is that school days vibe, the light skin against the dark skin. That's Giselle's whole shtick. That's her entire existence, is doing that. Oh yeah, we're gonna listen to that next. We posted a clip from Sleepy Time podcast where Robin stated in question light skin class would be accepted first season. Yes, we played that, JP. We just played that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, and she was. And see? Exactly. So that's part of, maybe they just mean a brown skinned girl they can fuck with, because they don't fuck with Charisse a lot on camera. They do their little stuff off camera to Charisse, but on camera, they haven't really attacked Charisse the way they've attacked all the other brown-skinned girls. And you are so correct. So if you were saying before season 1 that we need more brown people, but Charisse was already cast, why were you so happy season 2 when Monique finally got there, except for she was going to be somebody you guys could fuck with? That's what I said. I think I just figured it out. So the next thing we're going to listen to, you guys, is Chris get these people together. And then I'm going to show you, where's my, it's this here. Let's let this play. Because this right here has the thing from the lady. And I always make my picture go off so I can make sure you guys hear the audio. So, and then we're going to go over here and get it to Chris's thing. Which one is Chris? What was this? Andy's ear ready to call out Giselle. Where is Chris? Is it this one?
Can you say right here that Chris did not sexually assault her? Maybe that'll make her happy. Okay, what I've said was that the man asked me to go into a room.
I don't want to hear what you think you said.
That made me uncomfortable. I'm not apologizing for things I've never said. Am I crazy? I have not lied about a thing. You have lied. No, I have not. You're a big ass liar.
We're not going to relitigate this. Okay, all right. No.
Did he force you to go somewhere? Stop it. Can we ask this? Am I making this up? He asked me to go. I'm not making this up. That made me feel uncomfortable.
She said.
Are you referring to the interview or confessional where she said the word made me go?
Yes.
If I'm misquoting, please correct me.
In an interview bite, you said,
no, I didn't.
Made me.
You
the
did.
producers
Yes,
are telling you
No,
that.
Candiace, last year I told you your husband made me feel uncomfortable because he made me go into a bedroom and close the door. That is what happened. So what about all the things that she tweeted?
Can you say right here that Chris did not sexually assault her? Maybe that'll make her happy.
Okay, what I've said was that the man asked me to go into a room.
I don't want to hear what you think
And
you said.
That made me uncomfortable. I'm not apologizing for
this.
things I've never said.
Am I crazy?
I have not lied about a thing. You have lied. No, I have not. You're a big ass liar.
We're not going to relitigate this.
Okay,
All right.
so
No.
Did he force you in?
so that is what we heard Giselle drill in again, sit up here with her white adjacent looking ass and do some white adjacent shit, which is lie, call the police for nothing, lie when the police get there, not get taken to jail for false police reports, have the other people get in trouble, and then you get to keep on going on with your life. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So that was that one. But now we're going to listen to Chris get the edges together on Giselle.
You a lot this season. Was that by design? Yeah, it was. You don't want to be in the mess. If I'm not wanted around, I don't need to be around. It's okay. Well, are you not wanted around by Candiace?
Oh, no. I want him around.
Oh, okay.
But when you have a group of women who do everything in their power to push him out, lies, then why would he be comfortable coming around, is what he's saying.
Okay. Chris, are you still of the mind that Robin was in on a plot against you last year and was fake supportive just to cover up her own thing?
Honestly, after last year's reunion, I'm tired of talking about it. I haven't mentioned it since that reunion.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the 3 subsequent interviews that aired after the reunion. I haven't talked about it. I haven't tweeted about anything. I just really don't give a I'm good. I'm really good.
Oh, I loved when he
Juliana
did that.
from Virginia Beach said, Chris, this year a woman came out online and claimed she had an affair with you and even had an abortion for you. Then a few weeks later said she made the whole thing up. What happened there? What was that? Had you ever met the person?
No, I've never met this person.
So the screenshots,
I've never met this person.
so she photoshopped screenshots from your account.
I'll say it to you one more time. I have never met this person.
Okay, you didn't meet her, but
I don't
you
know
could still
anything about
send screenshots.
Chris, we didn't see you a lot this season. Was that by design? Yeah, it was.
So, and we were all so upset when Rob the Builder, who swallows community peen jizz from Don Juan, opened her filthy mouth to speak in the direction of Chris Bassett and say and question him with her viperous tongue about text messages and images that they got from the lady who Giselle contacted to start these rumors. Now, where is my little thing? Where is it? Because I have it here. There it is. So I'm going to pause that. I'm going to make this huge. So this is a screenshot from that Anaya Williams girl. Remember, she came out, she sounded kind of like inebriated, and she was saying something about fried chicken and all this stuff. And remember, her room looked like it might have smelled like Hennessy and Newports, and she was alleging that her and she went on a rant. She was like, oh my God. And then she said she had a thing. So again, this is part of the colorism because Andy has never asked Juan shit about alleged affairs, about alleged anything, about anything that happened on screen or off screen for that matter. But for Andy to feel the comfort of questioning Chris, whose wife is the brown girl, yeah, I'm taking it there, y'all. Because I'm like, well, that's the only difference. I mean, well, that and because Juan never shows up. But how is he even fixing his mouth to ask him some stuff that happened off season, off screen, when his whole explanation he just got from Rob the Builder as to why she went behind a paywall and still never talked about it in front of the viewers who were invested in their relationship for 7 seasons. She never talked to us about that shit because it's fuck us. And we don't deserve that explanation. But you better give us an explanation, Chris. You and your wife owe it to us. You better tell us what we need to know. You see, well, there's a line that just moved again. Oh my God. Was it on, the line moved on Candiace's side again, you guys? Oh my gosh. Am I being weird? Was that a line that moved? Was that a line that moved? That's weird. That's strange. That's so weird. How'd that line get over there? It was just over there for Robin and Juan, who never have to, and even for Ashley and Michael. They never have to answer for baby hand shit. Not really. Not when they're obvious uncomfortable and don't want to talk about it. They don't have to talk about it. But Candiace and Chris are expected and forced and prodded into conversations that are uneasy for them. Because the line of protection does not include Candiace, you guys. And by proxy, it doesn't include Chris, who's a real husband, who shows up for his wife, even in the uncomfortable times. You guys. So, but this right here is a screenshot. So it says, hello, I have a question for you. Candiace has been accusing Giselle of having something to do with your false allegation against Chris. Did she put you up to this? So the lady who came out and lied said she lied because Giselle put her up to it. And remember, on Sunday, Giselle was like, oh, the lady's credible. Giselle made it sound like the lady was credible. Well, the last thing the lady said, you green-eyed monster, was that she put me up to it. That's all I can say for now. Sorry. And that also means that she had said this part also before the reunion. So why was it not brought up in a way to protect Chris and them? Or to put blame back on Giselle and her colorist ass? Because Candiace and by proxy Chris are not included in the line of protection. That line of protection is for Juan, community peen Don Juan. That line of protection is for Robin and by proxy Don Juan. That line of protection is for Ashley and her 5 head full of lies and her baby hands SA sexually assaulting, grabbing men's asses since season 1. Episode 3 was that party, I think, when he grabbed his first ass 9 seasons ago. Never had to be accountable for it, never had to bring it up on TV. The affairs that Michael had didn't even get this many questions from people. Because the line of protection is not including Candiace. It only includes those over there. But you see, the lady who sounded inebriated, her last thing she said was Giselle put her up to it. So I'm not watching this shit anymore. I can't. I have 3 brain cells left. And I might watch the last reunion just to see if Chris eats some more. But what's so weird is they made this whole reunion about Candiace when she really didn't do or say anything this season. You can tell how they tried to silence her so much that she stepped back. Exactly, mademoiselle. The season was about Giselle not doing her job. They could have talked about that more. I think they should have dug in on that more. How Giselle refused to film with people she's at a job to film with people at. They could have talked about that for the whole first episode of the reunion. And then the second episode of the reunion could have been about how they let Giselle and her butt helmet wearer, Rob the Builder, go behind a paywall. We could have had a great conversation about how is that allowed, Andy? That the people get a nice big fuck you and to go behind a paywall, and we still don't have an explanation that sounds logical, Andy. How is it that that happens like that? She literally said, Chris made me go in the room. She did. She chopped up her words, made me, still didn't recall. And not to mention, she also did say he sexually assaulted that other woman when she assigned Michael Darby's behavior to Chris and said a statement that Chris grabbed the lady's butt after he propositioned her. So he was making passes and grabbing unwarranted, which is what Chris Darby has been doing in our face for seasons. So she assigned and projected that behavior onto Chris Bassett. Okay? She's a diabolical snake in the grass. And then just imagine a woman like Giselle teaching daughters to interact with women like this. You guys, that's scary shit. That's scary shit, you guys. That Giselle is teaching her daughters how to lie, how to break up people's relationships, how to freaking lie, make shit up, make fake essay allegations on people, and then say, oh, did I do that? Emmett Till much? I'm just saying, that's how serious the shit can be. Emmett Till much, Giselle? Oh, I meant to say he asked me to go in the room. He didn't make me. He didn't force me. He asked me to go in the room. After you said with your whole chest and ball hairs that he made you and that you was this, that, and the other, and a feeling, and a feeling, and a feeling, and a word, and a feeling, and a feeling, and a word, and a word, and a feeling, and that's why I was in a feeling, and a word. All that energy to come back and be like, oh, wrong word. So that's what you're teaching your daughters. That's what Grace is going to do when she gets to college in Florida, where city girls up. Hashtag city girls up. You teaching her that? Huh? That's the message. That's the brand. That's the entire brand at this point, Giselle. City girls up. Be a liar. Be a cheat. Be a snake. Smile in people's face. Tell them it's raining while you actively try to tear up their family. First lady much? Only in hell. I'm not sure if the first lady of Lucifer has a position open, but she would fit right in over there. Because this is an established pattern of behavior that we've witnessed under the guise of entertainment from this light-skinned hoe. Her own friends call her a hoe. I'm not saying an alleged. They were like, your box is well known. All the people that know her on this show have talked about her box's mileage. And I'm not even one to slut shame. So not only do you get around, but then you like using and misplacing words and sentences to make people think after your strong implication of misappropriate actions. But this is what you're teaching Grace and the twins, huh? And that's why as a viewer, overall, I find myself triggered when my entertainment sends out these subliminal messages that, for one, that's how it's okay to act and interact. And for two, it's acceptable because look, it's on my TV. Did you know that people in other countries where they ain't got no black people in the town think that it's okay to treat black people the way that they see them treated on TV? Did you know that? It's a fact. It's television. And then we're programmed through programming. Okay? So there is millions of people all over the world who learn how to read, who learn how to speak English, who learn how to speak other languages from their televisions. Have you ever heard the immigrant stories? They came here not speaking a word of English and learned how to, and watched SVU all summer and came out talking English. Because it literally can program you. And I would just rather have my entertainment be entertaining instead of programming masses on how to mistreat people who look like me. Instead of programming women in particular who kind of look like me, that it's okay to act like these bitches right here, like they're in 1986 rendition of School Days. The lights against the darks, the good hair against the bad hair. And don't forget that Giselle's hot box ass has made comments about Ashley's hair being nappy. Remember that? I was looking for it everywhere. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it before reunion part 3, where she was talking about Ashley's nappy hair. I bet it's the season 2 reunion because I think it got brought up because Ashley was like, that wasn't very nice, talking about the texture of my hair. Yes. Mademoiselle, she swallows community peen jizz. And then even that, think about this. Robin has been on this show with us for all this time, right? And she started off in season 1 sitting on a couch on a television show that was going to be a program for all to see 9 seasons later, including her sons, that their daddy's a cheater, that and the reason it's okay that he's a cheater is because he's an athlete. And that's just what they are. It's acceptable. So that means you're teaching your sons by proxy how, for one, to just disrespect women because you settle for all this disrespect from your husband constantly on TV. So they're learning how to treat women from how their dad treats you. And you're fine with this, but you got a problem with the picture that somebody else, that your friend had the picture sent. Really? Okay. Okay. She swallows community peen jizz. Okay? It's disgusting. She's nasty, filthy. She probably wears, that's the kind of nasty where you don't wear shoes in public restrooms at truck stops. Nasty. Okay? Nasty. Right? I wonder how she would describe Common the Robber's beard. Oh yeah, she was talking about he looked like he smelled like weed and something in the guy's beard. Always making colorist remarks. I honestly think their tricks are going to backfire on them. They lied, got rid of Candiace and most likely Wendy. I think Giselle, Robin, and Ashley are getting what is due to them soon, a reboot. We can only hope, because I will not be participating in this bullshit next season. Will not. I'm just not. I'm not going to waste my brain cells. I'm reclaiming that hour of my life on Sundays or whatever it is that's about to happen. Watch my life be so much better for it too, because this type of energy is not really good for us, you guys. It's not, we're supposed to be being entertained. There's a frequency going out. It impacts us in a lot of different ways. And I'm telling you, as a brown-skinned girl who's gone through racism and colorism in the America at the hands of white and black people, I was triggered, and I should not have to be triggered when I'm using my cable subscription. Okay. I won't be paying any more hoes to trigger me. They will get 0 views from larger curves. And you guys remember, the reason larger curves started was because of Real Housewives of Potomac. I finally did it. I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel, and I finally did it though because of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And that's the reason why I'm not going to be doing Real Housewives of Potomac no more. I just can't. It's been season after season after season after season after season of these green-eyed hoes getting on my nerves, whitewashing history all the time with the reunion, making everybody else wrong but them. Oh, I just can't. I refuse. The town needs an enema. They need a reboot. And now that Candiace is safe off our screens and Wendy is making $6 million every 6 months, $2 million every 6 months, they're fine. There's no better success for a hater than your success. So they're going to go on. The GNA clothes sucked. Her Every Hue foundation didn't have every hue, and is no longer to be found. Robin's hats, where are the embellished hats? Do you really want a facial? Because she might use Giz in the facial cream because it's supposed to leave you supple and smooth and tight. There might be some collagen in there. She might have a special cream for you at her facial shop. Who knows? I'm not going there either. Or better yet, I was thinking the most they could do is ask Mia to work at the franchises for Robin. That could be a cute little something, but I wouldn't watch. I still wouldn't be bothered because I'm done with Jack and Jill. If this is what Jack and Jill was about, no wonder they didn't want this shit on. Because did they know their colorist ways were going to be all from Front Street? Did they know that the people from Jack and Jill were just like Giz? And Karen by proxy. Remember, Karen spent the first 5 seasons lying in our face every time her mouth opened or her mole moved. Lies. And she still answers questions like she's running for president because she don't say shit when you ask her a question, and she spends all those words answering. Your question never got answered. Not the question. It's just some words. So she either lies or deflects. I just can't. I don't have time for this shit. I'm on for greatness. My life is destined for greatness, and I'm positive this frequency and the hour that I spend ingesting this bullshit and then having to rewatch it so I can come on here and review it, I'm positive my life is going to be 1,000 times better when I let Real Housewives of Potomac go and reclaim my motherfucking time. And I hope you guys reclaim your time too, unless you like being spun around by the tail. If you're into Wag the Dog, hey, everybody has a kink. But I will not continue to participate in anything like this anymore. It's sad. It's disgusting for them to let these 2 ladies have a platform to tear down the other ladies when you just heard also that she wanted some more brown people on there, obviously, so you could do some bullshit like this. And I'm not participating. I'm not. Let's finish up these comments. Let's see. She made her go in the room. Chopped. Made me. Diabolical. First lady. Keep saying Chris is miserable. What about Juan? Exactly. Juan Ben told us he was miserable. He's not there for you, Robin. Unless it's for the jizz on your chin. That's all he wants, is to jizz on your chin, Robin. It's amazing how Robin can so quickly identify Chris's penis, but we don't even know where Juan is. That's an excellent point, JP Reddy. Right. Anyway, right. Wonder how she would describe Common's beard. Okay, that part. Fried chicken and grease in his beard. Yeah. Freaking inappropriate. My daddy was a civil rights activist. What was her dad's name again? We could hurry up and look that up since I already went over time. Giselle has the entitlement of a woman who is sleeping with the boss. Well, she did proposition Andy. She did proposition Andy in front of the world for all the world to see because her box is so hot. Her box is so hot. She even wants virgin peen from a gay man who's never been with a woman. She wants that peen inside her hot box, you guys. Her boss's gay peen, she would gladly accept inside of her. Disgusting. Funny thing is, they have no backup plan. Yeah, what's their talent? Swallowing, lying, and rubbing the overseer's feet. That's their freaking superpowers. Swallowing, rubbing, and lying. Yeah, I think I'm out. Yes. Well, Karen rides the fence so much that she's only ever a problem when she goes directly against Giselle. And who knows if that'll ever really happen again. He had been opening up the spa, kept her %, but she couldn't do that. JP, nothing to fall back on. Yep, he did. They sure did. But Brandy got that suit on them, and yeah. You guys, thanks for coming through the Larger Curves. Okay, so 2 things my notes are. I wanted to get the article for Giz's dad. Giz's colorist dad, rest in peace, remarks from the brown skinned lady he was running against for, I think it was like city council, or something. I have to go find that stuff. And then also we need the clip. I said a clip I wanted to get. Damn, I didn't write it down soon enough. If you guys remember, put it in the chat. But definitely the colorist dad remarks we are going to get before next time. I forgot the other thing I said. Darn. Anyway, Curvies, thanks for coming through. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are excellent. Remember, there's enough to go around. Whatever your tiny human mind is thinking is possible. Even more than that is possible. So go with the flow. Receive. Don't forget, giver's game. And I really want to focus on there's more than enough to go around. So I hope you guys go get whatever it is that you want so that you can have some of this goodness that's floating around the universe, especially now that we off these demons. Everything gonna be fine. Ooh, I'm already feeling better. Just knowing that my mind isn't gonna be bombarded with bullshit no more. Oh my gosh, I feel free. I'm feeling free already. Thanks, Curvy. Smash the buttons, ring my bell. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.